Howdy, folks. It's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. It's the middle of the afternoon, and we're doing a follow-up video. We just finished Fort Jefferson Attack. We had a playthrough. We did a how to play earlier. So as I often do with these nice historical topics, I take a little look at books that have helped inform me or things that I've dug up after. So I know very little about the American Revolutionary War in the West, and my knowledge of the American Revolutionary War in general is not great, but I can certainly learn more. But I'm going to share with you a few books that I found during and while playing this game, and before, while I had purchased other games from this company. I'm going to start here with this one. This is a little older book. It's from Bison Press out of Nebraska. This particular release, I think, was in the late 90s, 92, early 90s. But the original text is from 1964, so it's not latest, greatest scholarship. There's a few maps scattered throughout it. So there's in the Central America and the Caribbean. There's, maybe one map per chapter or every other chapter. So no illustrations, no pictures, nothing like that. But if you want to get some good overall detail, this is like 500 pages, 564. So that's a book that you can take a look at. The Frontier War for American Independence. So this looks at the Western frontier. So if you want more along the lines of Fort Jefferson Attack, I don't know if you can see them over there. We got Attack on Cahokia, Battle of Baton Rouge, Battle of St. Louis. Those are all things that happened like between 1779 and 1780, up and down the Mississippi River, basically, or close by it. If you want what I think is the best value out there, the American Revolutionary War in the West, this is published by the same guy who publishes these games, Stephen L. Kling Jr. It's an edited set of contributions, essays, and such. He did write some of them himself. There's all these other scholars here. This thing is like a labor of love, a thing of beauty. It's very well bound. The pages are nice and glossy. It's good paper. There are so many illustrations, pictures, maps. I mean, we're talking like this is a museum in and of itself, pretty much. The amount of detail that it goes into, the index is like amazing. So if we look at Jefferson, Fort, or was it Fort, Jefferson? Let's see here. H-I-J, kill Jefferson, Fort. It goes all the way down here, up onto the next page and down partway. And there are so much defined detail. Correspondence sent from Fort Jefferson. Built features and landscapes. The demise of food supply. Just all this stuff. All this. This is like the amount of indexing prowess that has gone into. You can look at some of these entries. How well some of them are indexed. This is amazing. So I've not read this. I just, got it semi-recently. I've looked through it. But and what's the killer? Normally if you had a textbook like this at university, you'd be talking like $150 or something. $50. $50. That's the value is just unbeatable. The quality physically, the production values, and the amount of content related to photos, the maps, photos of stuff, right? The paintings and illustrations, amazing book. Now, there's another one that he wrote all by himself, Cavalry in the Wilderness. This is French and Indian War and American Revolutionary War, but it's focusing on cavalry and dragoons. And so it has chapters, on the French and Indian War, whether it's the British, the French. So in the American Revolutionary War, they have the role of, the Americans, the like Rogers Light Dragoons. They've got the Spanish. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, leather dragoons, light cavalry, and Texas cattle for Galvez. This is another. It's it's not as big a tome, but again, the production values are great. It is very well bound. It's $35. That's still good value. I mean, compared to this at $50, that's unbelievable. This is still an awesome, value, and it's like such a what seemed like a niche topic, but oh my goodness, for a lover of history and it's like, wow, hard to beat this kind of stuff. Okay, if you wanted to go to this book, Fortress America, Forts That Defended America, 1600 present. Well, if you were going here to look on Fort Jefferson, you'd be kind of sad in that there's like 1.5 to 2 sentences, not paragraphs, sentences on Fort Jefferson. But there's it's Fort Cahokia, and there's actually another Fort Jefferson, the Northwest Territory, that not near the mouth of the Ohio, Kentucky area. This fort did not last long. But if you're looking for a broader picture of just fortifications in all of America, and of course, a portion of this is on the American Revolutionary War, but the Civil War especially, and other things. So, this might be of interest to you. Couple of I don't have a lot of Osprey titles in the American Revolutionary War. I haven't pursued them yet, but I just picked up some odd ones. So like the Spanish Army in North America from 1700 to 1793, because they're there, they're in, some of they're actually fighting in some of these battles. They, weren't around in this one, but this could have easily been a Spanish fort. Patrick Henry pinged the Spanish governor of Louisiana, and it's like, hey, you want to, build a fort? And it ended up being no. And eventually when Jefferson came around, then with George Rogers Clark, they ended up building Fort Jefferson, but could have just as easily been Spanish. King George's army from 1740 to 1793. So, before and up to and after the time of the American Revolutionary War, and German troops in the American Revolution. One or two of these games have some like Hessian mercenaries or another group. I can't remember the name of them, but basically they were Hessians or closely related and all that. So there's a ton more. I mean, you can go and search, Osprey titles and find all sorts of things. Eventually I'll do that, but that's where I'm at now. So that was a quick look at those. And again, if you really if you think these are great games, they appeal to you, this would be an absolutely fantastic addition to a library and supplement your stuff. And, this might be a little too niche for some people, but boy, at $50, yeah, you can't go wrong. So, well, that's Meandering Mike. I'm going to keep it short. It's just under 9 minutes here. Stay tuned for later in the year. I will do some playthroughs of these guys. I'll try to get those on the table, at least 1 or 2 of them before the end of the year. So to all you good folks out there, take care and ciao.